The Ford Maverick has proven itself to be a true hit in the US market in the last couple of years. This model simply delivers what other trucks do not. That is a small form factor and incredible fuel efficiency. The Maverick easily beats any competition that comes out, and no other automaker, except for Hyundai, is up to the task of releasing a Maverick competitor. But even with so many positives, there are still some problems with the Maverick. So if you want to learn them, stay with us while we dive into the 8 problems with the Ford Maverick you must know. Number 8. Lack of configurations. Now let's start with one of the biggest downsides of the Ford Maverick, and that's the lack of configurations. As you probably know, trucks come in all shapes and sizes, and each of the larger midsize or full-size trucks has a variety of different configurations and wheelbases to choose from, but not with the Ford Maverick. With the Maverick, you only have the chance to use a single configuration, which is the crew cab with the short 4.5-foot bed. There's no option to get an extended cab with a longer bed, so this makes the Maverick a truck to avoid for many out there who will benefit from this increase in practicality. Let's say that you're a small contractor. You need more space to carry your tools in the rear, and with the Maverick, you don't get much. 4.5 feet of bed is basically nothing in comparison with the midsize or a full-size truck. We get the idea that Ford wants to cut down on expenses and make more profit, but the company should also think about the customers and offer them more in the process. This way, many more people will buy the Ford Maverick and will enjoy its practicality. Currently, it's only offered to a smaller market of customers who don't particularly use their trucks for work. Whether or not this will change, only time will tell. But let's cross our fingers and hope that Ford will listen and offer an extended cab with a longer bed. Number 7. The hybrid engine is underpowered. When we talk about the Maverick's problems, we simply must address the underpowered hybrid engine. This engine is very slow. It is efficient, but it's extremely underpowered. The hybrid powertrain uses a 2.5-liter inline-4 Atkinson cycle engine. This engine alone produces only 161 horsepower and 155 pound-feet of torque. Combined with the electric motor, it makes about 191 HP and 155 pound-feet of torque. This is definitely not enough because it lacks the responsiveness that's required in today's market. Buyers these days want instant acceleration and good feedback from the throttle. This is why if you're looking for a truck that accelerates hard, you should check out the standard 2.0 EcoBoost engine. This engine might be poor in terms of efficiency, but it delivers some strong acceleration when you press on the throttle. With this engine, you will never have a problem overtaking other cars. This is something that can be pretty useful if you care a lot about your safety. Just imagine you struggle to overtake a truck and find yourself in a pretty tight situation. Nobody wants that. This is why you should choose the 2.0 EcoBoost if you want something more responsive that will do the job better in terms of acceleration and delivering solid numbers. Number 6. Hybrid is an option. Now, let's talk about another downside of the Ford Maverick, and that's the availability of the hybrid model. This model was the base when the Maverick was first released, and in the second model year, Ford saw how much money the hybrid could make and started to include this engine as an option. So what does this mean? Well, this means that you get the 2.0-liter EcoBoost engine as the standard and the hybrid engine as an option. This means you have to pay extra in order to get the hybrid Ford Maverick. This can be a problem for many out there because having to pay more can be a turnoff. To be more precise, in order to get the Maverick Hybrid, you will have to pay $1,500 premium over the base 2.0-liter EcoBoost engine. This money is not a lot for many, but for some, it is, especially to those who want to save money on gas. With $1,500, you can put a ton of miles. So we really think that Ford should make both models equal with no premium charge to those who want to get the hybrid. Since this model is really underpowered, its only pro is the fuel efficiency that it delivers. Number 5. Mediocre towing and payload. Another downside with the Ford Maverick is its mediocre towing and payload capacity. This model is extremely poor in this aspect. In fact, except for the Hyundai Santa Cruz, this is the second least capable pickup truck in the US market. But this is understandable since the model is a compact pickup truck and not a proper body-on-frame truck like the midsize and full-size competitors. When it comes to the numbers, you cannot expect much from the Maverick. With the model that does not have a tow package, you can tow up to 2,000 pounds and carry a payload of 1,500 pounds. While if you opt for the 4K tow package, you're able to unlock up to 4,000 pounds of towing capacity. Buying the 4K tow package is a no-brainer. If you want to tow more, this model can tow a lot more over the base model. However, these numbers can improve up to 5,000 pounds. We strongly hope that in the following model years, Ford will improve the numbers and make the Maverick on the same level as the Honda Ridgeline, another unibody pickup truck. But what is good for 2025 is the fact that you get the option to pick the 4K tow package on the hybrid model. Previously, this was impossible. Small improvement, but definitely worth it if you tow a lot with your truck. Number 4. Fuel economy is poor on the EcoBoost. The Ford Maverick has another downside, and it's the poor fuel economy of the EcoBoost engine. This engine is powerful, but this power makes it inefficient compared to the hybrid model. The 2.0-liter EcoBoost will return up to 23 miles per gallon in the city and 30 miles per gallon on the highway. This is decent, but the hybrid model delivers up to 36 miles per gallon combined, both city and highway fuel economy, and this is quite an improvement over the standard 2.0-liter EcoBoost engine. So if you want to get a model that is really efficient, the EcoBoost is not the one. Instead, go for the hybrid powertrain. This model delivers some excellent MPGs that no other truck in the US market can match. Number 3. No off-road capability. Now, let's cover another downside, and that's the lack of off-road capability. This model is not able to tackle off-road terrains at all. If you want, you can option the model with an all-wheel drive setup, but this all-wheel drive is not as good as four-wheel drive used in larger trucks. This is the case because the AWD is constantly on. This system monitors loss of traction on some of the wheels and delivers the power to different wheels in order to retain stability. While four-wheel drive in larger trucks is activated by the driver, it's a very useful feature when stuck in mud or some other terrain. Overall, the capabilities of four-wheel drive are much greater compared to all-wheel drive that is only made for tackling icy or wet conditions. In addition to this, the Maverick is running on all-season tires that are basically the same tires used on sedans and crossover SUVs. Nothing too crazy as in some of the larger trucks. This is why, if you want to get something really capable, you should really choose a proper four-wheel drive truck instead of the Maverick. Number 2. Poor build quality. Another big problem with the Ford Maverick that many buyers reported was the poor build quality. Ford Maverick models were basically assembled in a rush, and there were many reports of owners complaining about build quality issues. These issues were minor, like some mismatched panels and some larger issues such as a leaky windshield. However, these problems were predominantly affecting the first 2 production years. These days, such problems are relatively uncommon, since Ford managed to adapt to the buyer demand and build these trucks with quality. This is why you shouldn't be too worried about this if you plan to purchase a Ford Maverick. Number 1. Poor interior quality and cramped rear seating. And the last thing that we must cover is the interior. The interior of the Ford Maverick was described as relatively poor quality. This model is not like your typical Ford truck. In the Maverick, everything is basic. Even on the higher end trims, there are not a lot of luxury features. The truck is basically made for commuting from point A to point B without having some incredible luxury features such as 8-way adjustable seats, massaging features, or heated and ventilated seats. In addition to this, the space in the rear is pretty tight. Legroom is a big problem when it comes to taller passengers. If you're above 6 feet in height, you will definitely have problems finding a good seating position in this model. Even the larger midsize trucks have problems with this. Overall, this is not a deal breaker, but it's worth noting because it will definitely make your decision of buying it a bit easier.